Hey, it's Ryan from McCarthyMusicSchool.com, and today I'm excited because I'm starting a brand new series on the essential skills needed to play modern worship and modern church music on piano. If you're trying to get better at playing modern contemporary worship music, maybe for your personal devotional time, maybe for your church music team, then this video series will take you from the very beginning and teach you all the essential skills you need to be able to do that. If you've never played piano before and you don't know what the names of all the black and white keys are on a piano, you'll definitely want to check out my video on that first before launching into this series. There will be a link for that in the description as well as above me for that video covering the names of the black keys and the white keys. Otherwise, if you're all ready, we're going to dive into the first topic, and that is chords, how to read them on a chord chart, as well as how to find out which notes go into which chords and be able to play the chords correctly with the correct notes. So let's go ahead and dive in. To help us in our study of chords today, we're going to be looking at this music for the modern hymn, In Christ Alone. And what we have here is called a chord chart. And a chord chart doesn't have all the information you need. It just has the basic information of what the lyrics are to a song and what the chords are. And that's what we have written above the lyrics here. All these letters here are actually chord symbols. We're going to take a look at those and kind of what they mean, how to read those. So let's dive in and see what we have here. So the first line we have, in Christ alone, in Christ alone. And right above alone, we have this D here. Now that D is actually the name of a chord. Whenever you see a chord name that's just a letter all by itself, and there are no other modifying letters or numbers written next to it, you know that that is going to be a major chord. So this D here is actually looking for a D major chord. That's what that means, D major. So that's the first chord we're going to take a look at here. And a major chord is just one type of chord. There are many different types of chords out there. Today we're going to look at a couple of the more common ones. And I actually have a free PDF guide that goes through the 5 most common types of chords that you can find in music. It goes a lot more in depth than what I have in this video. But to find that, you just go to McCarthyMusicSchool.com/guide. And it's just a free PDF download. It has color illustrations and step-by-step instructions for how to play the 5 most common types of chords. So that would be a great supplement to this video and to this video series. So go definitely check that out. So to find this D major chord, what we're going to do is we're going to start by finding a D note, and that's this white key in between the 2 black keys here. And then for a major chord, we're going to count up 4 half steps. And a half step is just the shortest distance between any key on the piano. So we start on D, and we start with the note above D, and we count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we have an F sharp, and then we keep going, and we count all the way up to 7. 5, 6, 7. There we go. So we have a D, an F sharp, and an A. There's our D chord. In Christ alone. There we go. So the next chord is now an A chord, or an A major chord. So let's find that chord now. So we do it the same way we found the D major chord. We're going to find the A note, and that's this white key in between the 2 black keys on the top part of a 3 black key group here. Here's A. We're going to count up 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a C sharp. And then we just keep counting until we get to 7. 5, 6, 7, E. So now we have A, C sharp, and E. There's our A chord. So starting at the beginning, in Christ alone, there's our D chord, my hope is found. And you'll notice that I'm playing these chords above the words that they are written above. And that's how a chord chart works. You see where the chords are written above the letter, or above the words, and that's when you play those chords as you go through the song. All right, the third chord here is a G major chord. Let's find that one using the same system. Here we go. Here's a G note. We're going to count up 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to keep counting to 7. 5, 6, 7. So we have G, B, and D. He is my light, my strength, my song. And then back to the D major chord. So that's the basics of how to find really any chord, even though just now we're talking about major chords. Really, that's the way to find any chord, is just find that first note, what we call the root note, the note that the chord is named after, and then you just find the number of half steps you count up to find all the other notes in the chord. Let's take a look at a chord that's not a major chord. Now, this song actually only has, at least this version of this song, only has major chords in it. But let's see if we can maybe mix it up a little bit and find a place that we can change one of the chords. Here we go. Let's start right here on the refrain type of area. Here we go. What heights of love, here's a G major chord. What depths of peace, when fears are stilled, when striving cease. Now this G chord, let's say instead of a G chord, what we actually had was a B. So we had a capital B, but then a lowercase m next to it. That would be the symbol for a B minor chord. Whenever you see a lowercase m or sometimes a lowercase min written next to a chord, you know that's a minor chord, not a major chord, which is what you'd have if there were no letters written next to the B. So let's find that out. So let's find a B. Here's one right here, just right above the 3 black key group. And instead of counting up 4 half steps, we're going to count up 3 half steps like this. 1, 2, 3, and then we just keep counting to 7 like before. 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. A B, a D, and an F sharp. There's our B minor chord. So let's start at what heights of love, and I'll show you kind of how that works. What heights of love, there's the G major chord. What depths of peace, when fears are stilled. So there's a B minor chord. When striving cease, my comforter, my all in all, here in the love of Christ I stand. So there you go. That's the basics of how to find a major chord and a minor chord, which are really the 2 most common types of chords you will find in worship music. And like I said, you will want to check out my Quick Start Chord Guide. It has step-by-step instructions for the 5 most common types of chords. It has a few other chords in it than what we covered today. And it's just nice to have something visual, not just a video, but an actual PDF that you can look at and reference over and over. So you'll want to check that out at mccarthymusicschool.com/guide. It's totally free. That's it for this first installment of the essential skills needed to play modern worship music and modern church music. Please let me know if this was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions about how to play piano in a modern church setting. I would love to make a video that answers your questions and helps you get better at playing piano. So thanks for watching today, and I will see you in the next video.